Welcome to the Rocket Rewind, the show where we get together and talk about things that matter, things that are interesting, and shit that might just blow your mind. Yeah, they're our opinions, and you don't have to like them. We might not like yours either, but feel free to share them in the live chat. This is America, where we have free speech, cancel culture, Karens and Darrens, all working together in such super sweet harmony. Yeah, right. Sometimes the things we talk about might help restore our faith in humanity, but all too often it's going to be stuff that might piss you off like it does us. Make sure you have your grown-up panties on and come join the conversation. Oh yeah, and make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss this weekly dose of provocative discussion. The Rocket Rewind, Sundays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's get into it. Viewer discretion is advised.
What is up, everybody? Good to see you.
Going on?
Howdy ho, Steve.
How you doing, Onyx?
Man, I'm living this dream. This dream. So it's Sunday, and it's 6 p.m. Central Time, and you know what that means. It's time to get on here and talk some shit. And like Megan's reminder there says, if you don't have your grown-up panties, you might want to add them to your Christmas list. Because we can't promise we won't offend you or hurt your feelings on this show.
Yeah, we're probably just going to do that anyway.
Yeah. You know. Congratulations, Stu. They get to see their baby cousin. He's 3 years old today. That's good.
Sweet.
That's good. Let me run through the chat real quick and do some hellos. Of course, we got Steve the Bodyman here, and he's also on the panel with us. I see Gaming with Eric Boyce. What's up? Chris Talbert's here. Nicholas Peel is here. Jamie H. What's up there, brother? Good to see you. Taylor Tonch is here. Michael Tingley. What's up, homeboy? Good to see you. Megan D. Gaming is here, of course. Jorge Zambrano is here. How you doing, Jorge? We got P. Hoffman Gaming in the house as well. Good to see you there, Hoffman. We've
GD.
got Brooke. Say what?
GD's in the house.
GD.
Yeah, guard dog.
Oh, guard dog. Oh, I hadn't gotten down that far yet.
Oh, sorry.
We got Brooklyn with Worldwide Emergency Videos here. What's going on, Brooklyn? Good to see you. I see Jake Clark. What's up? Welcome. Let's see. I see Guard Dog 335. What's up, Guard Dog? Yep. Finally got scrolled down that far. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday to you. Y'all ready to get into some bullshit?
Yeah.
Tonight, we're going to talk a lot about the First Amendment to the United States Constitution and how that kind of relates to a lot of the videos you see online and some of that stuff. And I thought it was kind of fitting to title this episode Camera Freakouts and the First Amendment, right? Because most of the times when you see these videos out there and there's some kind of issue that comes about, it's because it all boils down to the fact that somebody don't like the fact that somebody else has got a camera out. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. Either the cops don't like that somebody's filming them, or that somebody's cussing them out, or, you know, somebody else don't like the fact that they're filming their business, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So we live in America. We have freedoms, and, you know, it's like, I don't know how many of you watch Amagansett Press and his son watching The Watchmen, but one of Amagansett Press's favorite statements is rights are a lot like muscles. If you don't use them, you end up losing them. And so that makes perfect sense. You know, if you let your rights get violated a little bit at a time here and there, then eventually that right's just going to go away. So y'all know I'm a huge proponent of the First Amendment. Huge. Let's see. Hey, Linda K, what's up? Makes you think of that guy Tim a couple of days ago. Well, we're actually going to look at Tim again tonight. Tim is one that I have on my list. But I wanted to start first. So when I first started this channel, and kind of got the idea to start doing some cop watching and some live media stuff around the area. I had first run across some streamers on YouTube out of Bakersfield, California that were doing something similar, right? And Bakersfield's always got some shit going on. It's a much bigger area and a lot more shit happening than what happens around Huntsville. But anyhow, so I got to watching some of those. One of those is First Responders Media. Let me see if I can share it. Actually, we'll pull them up. One of them is First Responders Media, right? And I've been saving this video for a little bit to show you guys. But basically what happened is this was on Thursday, November 17th. It was about 11 p.m. They were out doing some live media stream in Bakersfield, and there was a call that came out, and they had an officer that didn't want them getting around there with the camera. So they kind of had some back and forth with each other, right? We're not going to probably watch the entire video. I just want to kind of show you this first interaction that happened here. And then we'll talk about it from there.
4:11 p.m. I and Oriole is his name.
It's over here somewhere. So we have to get the cameras and go in like that over this fence when they land.
The headlights in Suburban keep turning on and off.
All right, so we'll stay here and it's about to tip them off in there. When they move in,
he's looking at the guy.
All right, so they're waiting for the scene to be under control before they get out. I think this was maybe a possible stolen vehicle that the officers were cornering up. So the streamers are waiting for the scene to be kind of secure, right, before they get out.
wait until they move in. Okay, go.
Which one?
Number 2.
Yeah. Second will be unknown race male, black sweatshirt with a hood.
Let's go. Wait until they move in.
Currently facing westbound. Got one at the driver's door and the other subject towards the rear.
While they're moving in.
Test by the vehicle facing westbound.
Let's go. They're moving in. Okay. It's a public parking space, bro.
No.
Call me an idiot one more time.
No.
You blew it yourself.
Get back now.
What is the reason you want me to get back and take away my First Amendment right?
On this side of the gunshot. Get back now.
How far?
Back to your car.
How far?
To your car. I just said it. Go.
You're sitting here yelling.
Go. Go to jail.
You want to take me to jail? Go for it. Go for it. Take me to jail. Take me to jail.
Can I get your name and badge number, please? I'm asking for your name. Isn't that policy? 1352.
You cannot kick us out of the parking lot. All right, guys, we have officers. Another officer grumpy here. You can't kick me out of this parking lot. You,
What's your deal, guys?
You're great. You're great. You're the ones that make everybody else look bad. Nobody's walking up to you. Quit being a tyrant. Yeah, quit being a tyrant. Seen enough of you.
The fucking spotlight.
That guy is so immature.
So there's the scene they were trying to film. All right. I think it was a possible stolen car. All right. It was a possible stolen car.
Wow.
You could hear him 2 different times say, no, let's wait before we get out, wait until they move in, right? They wanted to make sure that officers were on scene with the car and had the scene under control, right? And that's for a couple of different reasons. It's for their safety, the media's safety, and also for the safety of the officers, right? Because officers don't need a whole lot of distractions when there's somebody that's possibly armed, or they got somebody running from them, or they're trying to track somebody with a dog, or any number of things.
Right.
And so Linda and Jay remember that. They were watching. Linda and Jay both remember that one. I didn't catch that one live, but I did catch it the next day. I saw that the next day. But I've got some mixed feelings on this one, right? Because I do similar to what these guys do, right? I go out and sometimes I'm just recording. There's times that I go live. It just kind of depends on what's happening and how my work schedule is, right? So there's times that I'm out here like this, trying to film scenes exactly like this: arrest happening, law enforcement, in the discharge of their official duties, that kind of thing, right? And so my mixed feelings are this. First off, first responders media is very pro law enforcement, right? They're a lot like I am. They believe that we need law enforcement, that we need good cops, but at the same time, obviously, as you can see, they're also not going to let their rights get trampled, and they're going to stand up for themselves. Steve, before I give my input, what's your thought on this situation, right? So this, like I said, First Responders Media is a live stream channel similar to mine, filming police, fire, and emergency scenes, but they're in Bakersfield, California.
Well, what I have to say on that is, first off, I think the cop was kind of a dick. Secondly, I agree with the guy that the police should go in, they should secure the location and do what they got to do, get the business rolling on that. There's no reason for the cop to act the way he was. If you're obviously there for doing what he was doing, and you definitely don't want to get in the way. You want him to take care of what he has to take care of before anything gets out of hand. I feel as though that's probably number one.
Yep. I feel the same way.
I just think that cop, he acted like a child, and he really he could have handled that just a little bit differently.
Oh yeah. And we're going to watch some of my videos where I've had a couple of little run-ins that probably could have been handled better by both sides, myself and the officer.
Okay.
But in this situation, right, I get why the officer, Megan's right on point here with about what I was about to say. The officers don't want somebody with the camera to get hurt or get in the way, or get there before the officer's ready to take somebody in custody, whatever. But now this dude's hollering and carrying on and shit. So if the suspect wasn't in custody, you've already spooked him with the officer hollering and carrying on. Hey, John Daynard, what's up? But being in media streaming myself, you want to get the good shot. You're out there doing shit that the mainstream media is not doing, and you're trying to catch these scenes live. Most of the time, if the mainstream media was to cover this situation right here, they would pull up after the suspect was already in the car. Hell, the car may even be gone. They're just going to be standing in the same parking lot. Right behind me about 45 minutes ago, a stolen car was recovered, and, whatever. Well, these guys are out there in the trenches, trying to show off what the cops are doing, trying to give some entertainment to their viewers and to spread news immediately as it's happening. So you want to get that good shot. You don't want to get shot either. as media. I mean, I'm that same way. There's been times I've been at scenes where I wait, I hesitate before I move in because I want to make sure I'm not going to end up a statistic or that I'm not going to be the next chalk outline.
Now, here's a good question. When you're on scene and you're out of the way, and you do your thing, my question is, do you conceal carry for your protection while you're doing what you do?
I don't know if I want to give out my personal protection.
Okay, well, let me rephrase the question.
Info.
Is that something that is allowed?
Yes. Alabama does have, it's very easy to get a concealed carry permit. I think now they actually have a lifetime one.
Wow.
that just rolled out this year. You could get a 1 year or you could get a 5 year. And then I think this year, sometime in 2022, I think it's about mid-year or so, they rolled out the ability to get a lifetime one. And I want to say the 5 year was only like maybe $100. That's right, well, Jamie. That's right. I mean, I'm not trying to dodge Steve's question. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want people that may see me out and about to know exactly what my personal protection gear may include.
So I understand.
Because it's kind of like, have y'all all seen that? Hold on one second. Because it's kind of like this. Let me see. Let me see if I can get this.
I'm right there with you, Jamie, especially on that.
Okay, well, I can't pull it up, but have y'all seen the video of the guy that's like drawing on a board, and it's like the fuck around and find out graph?
Yep.
How much do you have to fuck around to find out what you're trying to find out, right? Well, I'm a firm believer in the fuck around and find out kind of thing.
Well, if it were me, I may or may not carry that day. But then again, you may find yourself in a situation where you need to defend yourself, and just holding the camera in front of the guy's face may not be enough for that, because some people, they don't care about that. No,
right. Well, I mean,
do what they want to do.
Some people shoot at cops because they don't give a fuck.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to be prepared for whatever out there. But now I can tell you this. January the 1st, 2023, right around the corner, is going to be an amazing freaking day in Alabama, because concealed carry permits will no longer be required.
Oh, nice.
You can still get one.
They were trying to abolish that for all 48 continental states.
What's up, GTR boy and Toe for Life? Good to see you. Well, you can still get a concealed carry permit after January the 1st, but you're not required to have one. So what that tells me is there's probably going to be a lot more people walking around with guns in the state of Alabama. So before you fuck around and find out with somebody on the side of the road in Alabama because you're pissed off, you might want to remember the fact that come January 1, anybody could have a pistol stuffed down their britches and don't have to have a permit, Yeah. So that's one of them things. But like I was saying, I mean, when you're on a scene, like, let me just to remind you what we're talking about the first responders media thing. When you're on a scene like this, a million things can happen. That guy could have been armed. He could have taken off running. He could have jumped that fucking fence running your direction, right? You never know. There's a whole lot of scenarios that could have happened there. So I get why the officer's wanting to control the scene, but he could have done it a hell of a lot better. Yeah. I mean, he told them to get the fuck back, instead of, hey, wait, hold on before you move in. I mean, Bakersfield PD knows these people are out there streaming what they're doing. You get the respect you give in my book, right? If that officer wanted them to stay back and be like, hey, we don't quite have it secure yet, can you hold off just a minute? Boom. These dudes would have stopped right in their tracks. Yeah, sure, officer, no problem.
Right.
But what happened is he went asshole mode and he got asshole mode back, right? And that's happened. It's happened to me a couple of times. I'm usually a pretty laid back, calm guy, but I've snapped a couple of times. Hoffman says unregulated people who aren't required to reveal they're carrying when pulled over sounds great. I have a feeling you're being sarcastic there, but yeah, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. But you just got to, after January 1st, you need to assume that anybody in Alabama is packing a gun. It's the best thing you can do. So that's that one. I do want to show you. When we were talking about talking more on the First Amendment, you know, it's I don't consider myself a First Amendment auditor because I don't necessarily go out trying to look for shit. But I can tell you, yeah, he says Hoffman says yes, sarcasm was implied. But I've noticed as I've been out and about, the camera is starting to make folks uncomfortable. And some folks are starting to say shit when I'm out there, right?
Right.
And so I almost think there needs to be some First Amendment audits done around here. One second. God damn, my allergies and sinuses are kicking my ass today. So you may see some on my channel. I don't know. I don't want to go out looking for confrontation, right? So the confrontations you see on my channel are confrontations that happened when I didn't go looking for them. You know, I wasn't trying to get a confrontation. They just happened.
That's right.
That's right, GTR boy. Look, I'm just here to record fires and code 3 responses. That's
One
right.
thing my father always told me is don't go out looking for trouble. It'll come find you soon enough.
Hell yeah. Look at that. Megan just donated $10, honey. Hey.
Thanks, Megan.
Hey. $10 is $10.
That's right. It's a lot I do for $10.
Hey, I know. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. Thank you so much for that, Megan. I certainly do appreciate it. So let me show you the very first problem I had. Very first problem I had in Huntsville. Let me show you this one. Let's see. Let's share this. Share. Damn it. I should have just changed slides or changed tabs. All right. So this is from my channel. This was from 9 months ago, right? This was when I was first kind of getting started and hadn't recorded a whole lot. Megan says, keep gas in that car, Shug. That's right. I sure will. Hey, Dustin K, what's up? Welcome to the stream. But this was the very first incident I had where I had a little bit of an issue with an officer. So we'll get to that. So I actually gave some commentary on this, so I'll let the commentary kind of talk for itself a little bit. On Saturday, March 5th, about 10:20 or so, I heard a call from across the radio that there was an officer involved in a traffic accident over on Governors. So I headed over there just to kind of check things out. Luckily, it doesn't appear that anybody was injured. There was some vehicle damage, but other than that, nobody appeared to be injured, thankfully. Now, just so you know, this video down here, this small video, this was from my actual, what I call my big camera. It's my Sony camera that I get out. And then this larger video, this is from my body camera that I was wearing. And thank God I was wearing my body camera because it got the audio a little bit better and everything. But here, let's skip ahead. You know, I was just filming, you know, staying out of the way. I mean, you can see so you can see where I'm standing, right? There's a turn in right here. And I'm standing just on the other side of this turn in. You can see there's a car. I'm standing right next to a car right here. So I'm not blocking the entryway into this parking lot. The car that was involved in the traffic accident, the HPD car, is this one right here, right? And the other vehicle that was involved in it, I think, is parked over here. So I'm not in their scene. I'm being very mindful to stay out of their scene, not interrupt their investigation or anything like that. And then this is what I get. Hadn't been over there, hadn't said a damn word to anybody. I'm just standing there minding my own business, filming. And then this is what we'll get. Nobody went over and talked to this officer. He just took it upon himself to come over.
How you doing? Can't complain. So I don't have a problem with you filming me. I don't have a problem with you filming other people's stuff. But there's actually people standing out here, and you don't have permission to film them.
I don't need
To film the people that were just in that wreck, because I don't know what you're going to use that information. And if they decline it, that don't mean anything to me.
Sir, I'm with the media. There's no expectation of privacy in public.
For any other human being.
For any other human being.
That's what you're trying to tell
When
me.
you're in public, there's no
So
expectation.
if you're a victim, or you're at a crime scene, or if you're a potential investigation, that's not an expectation of privacy. That's not what we're talking about.
Not out in public.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's Rogers. I wear it every day.
You might want to brush up on the Constitution.
David, I'm familiar with the Constitution. I just think it's pretty shitty, regardless.
Wow.
I just think it's pretty shitty, regardless.
How is it shitty, sir? I'm not giving you guys any problem.
No,
I'm over here
I didn't say you were. How did I start it? How did I start the conversation?
You came up trying to tell me I can't film.
No.
All right. So that was my first issue, right, with an HPD officer. Well, let me get back to it. There's a little bit more you need to do.
Yeah.
There's certain areas I will not go into, and I always stay behind.
Okay. All right, man. I'm done talking to you.
Okay. Hey, can you ask the
I've already explained it to you.
Can you ask
You
the
want to talk to
sergeant
the sergeant?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
See,
after y'all are done, of course.
Here's where he was wrong. First off, I didn't need him to fucking explain to me what my job was, right? I didn't need him to come explain shit to me.
No.
I wasn't getting in his way. I wasn't bothering his job, right? I'm just filming from a distance, being quiet, staying out of the way. And he's going to get mad because apparently he's not getting through my thick head. Whatever he was trying to get through my thick ass head. I don't really know. I don't know what his point was. His point was that it's shitty to film a traffic accident.
No.
Well, I mean, what the fuck? It's newsworthy information. An HPD car ass-ended a civilian car. It's newsworthy, like it or not.
These people like make stuff up as they go. I mean,
right. So I told him I wanted the sergeant, right? Because you saw he was just like, fuck it. I'm not getting through to this dickhead. I'm going to walk off, was basically what he was thinking to himself, right? So I told him, I want the sergeant.
You didn't have to break what you were working on, Sarge. I can wait till y'all finish up. Okay. But I need to make a complaint against Officer Rogers. Okay. He's trying to violate my First Amendment right to freedom of press. He came over and explained to me that people may not want to be filmed and I shouldn't be here filming like I'm a bad guy. Right? I don't antagonize you guys. I'm pro-law enforcement. I just document what y'all do. Okay. But I do want to file a formal complaint.
Okay, just let me go do with this.
Yeah, that's why I said just when I asked him to send you over, I was like, when y'all finish, I know y'all got a lot to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, right there, that sergeant is thinking to himself, oh, fuck. You know? Because I told him I wanted to file a formal complaint. Not, I just want you to listen to me bitch for a minute. No, I'm filing a formal complaint. I want some shit done about this. I want some documentation on this. This is going to be in an official record somewhere, right? Hey, Ember Rose, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. So I did. I followed through.
I can wait if y'all still got.
No, that's not. Well, I'm gonna
Let me pull this back up.
Number to his supervisor. He's working today too. And that way he can deal. You and him can deal with that complaint. Okay. And then that way I can go deal with this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So he's supposed to text me. I was on the phone with him. I was like, hey, text me.
I even grabbed my phone. Oh yeah. Sometimes I don't grab my phone.
Yeah. But I told him, yeah, just said, hey.
So unfortunately, most of this conversation was drowned out. All right. So, hey, Adam, what's up there, homeboy?
What's up, Adam? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, he's muted. You're muted.
I'm muted.
No, Adam's muted.
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear
There
me
we
now?
go.
There he
Yeah,
is.
All right,
you made it through all that craziness of that traffic accident.
sat in that for like an hour and a half.
Where was that at? Around Coleman?
It was actually right there, like Ardmore, like Tennessee side and Ardmore, right there on 65.
Oh, shit.
That 18-wheeler
Okay.
had went across. It was going south. It went across the northbound lanes and pulled all those wires, those guide wires.
That wire median divider or whatever.
Yeah, it pulled all
Holy
those
shit.
off. So yeah, it was crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Hey, Junior, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Well, Adam, glad you made it. So we were just looking at this video. I don't know if you remember it. This is the one. Remember the first HPD officer that I had an issue with, Officer Rogers, when I was filming that traffic accident, and he told me it was shitty.
Yeah.
You remember that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. So basically what happened is this sergeant that was on scene was not this guy's actual direct sergeant. So he gave me that sergeant's phone number, who I immediately called when I got back in my car, and got his contact information as far as email or whatever. I uploaded my body cam footage, which is what we were looking at. What we were looking at on this video is my body cam footage, and I uploaded that information for him to be able to look at and review that footage. He did tell me he was going to call him in and download his body cam footage and watch it. And so I did. I filed an actual formal complaint, right? So then I get, this is the follow-up, right? Where I just did a quick little follow-up video. Basically, it was just me talking about the same thing with just my body cam footage running at this time, just a replay of that body cam footage. But basically, just to give you an idea of what happened, the sergeant did take my complaint, was very apologetic. He did communicate with me. Now, it took a couple of weeks because he had the sergeant had vacation in there and that kind of stuff. Because Michael had asked here. So this answer is for you and anybody that's wondering out there, Michael. So I filed the complaint. The sergeant got back with me, so told me that he had reviewed my body camera footage. He had reviewed the body camera footage of Officer Rogers, and that that my complaint was sustained, meaning they did find that the officer had violated HPD policy. And he had to go back through retraining on a couple of HPD policies, one of which is the HPD news media policy, and the other was their policy on professional standards and how they are to behave with members of the public. And so, which is kind of nuts because, had he just not come over and said anything, we wouldn't have had that issue. I mean,
would have been fine.
I mean, nobody was bothering him. I wasn't hollering out, fuck the police or anything like you see a lot of these other channels doing. But he just took it upon himself to come over there and stir some shit up.
You should put a sticker on the side of your camera that says "Bad cop, no donut."
Well, I actually thought about getting a shirt that says, "If you don't want to be on camera, don't talk to me."
I love it.
Something like that. So, I mean, unfortunately, that I had to do a formal complaint. And so now this officer actually has, a formal reprimand in his file, which, could hem him up for possible promotions or stuff like that for whatever I don't know what their time frame is on that, but it didn't have to happen.
Right.
It really didn't have to happen. Now, Adam, you were in law enforcement before the whole record the police movement started, but did you ever have anybody try to film you when you was out doing something?
Not really. I never really had that too big of an issue with it. We had our dash cams, and then, if you were in the jail, of course, the jail had their camera system, which it was really archaic compared to what we have now.
Well, dude, but back then, not everybody had a cell phone in their pocket either. And if they did, they probably weren't smartphones that recorded video at the time, right?
It was right as the first iPhone was starting to come out, so not a lot of people had them.
Yeah,
at that time. So,
and see, mine was over 20 years ago. You know, when I dabbled in law enforcement for a little bit, and so I never had any recordings. Which I have to say is probably a good thing because I mean, in all honesty, I was not cut out to be a police officer because I can be an asshole real quick, like. And I think it takes a real special person to be a good cop and not let your emotions get the best of you.
Well, that's why you see a lot of these older guys act the way they do. You know, like that guy at the Almosta County Courthouse. The reason why he ain't used to cameras.
Yeah.
And
We're gonna look at
because he clearly knows that.
We're gonna look at Deputy Fat Fuck here in a minute too. But because that was my second problem I had. Scotty B Gaming, what's up? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, he's our next contestant over here. Let's see. So let me give you the background, right? So this is at the Limestone County Courthouse in Athens, Alabama. John Daner says hello there, Adam.
Hey John, how are you?
So I'm in Athens, Alabama at the courthouse. And I was going there because I wanted to get my hands on some salary information for the sheriff's department. And I wasn't sure if I needed to go to the sheriff's department itself. Oh, there we go. Or if I needed to go to the courthouse, right, to the county clerk. Because I'm used to shit in Mississippi and Louisiana, right? So I wasn't sure where these records were housed in Alabama. Turns out what I was looking for was not even housed at the courthouse. But had they just not been such dickheads, we could have figured that out earlier, and I could have went to where I really needed to go and got the info I needed to get. So let's look at this. This is me going in just to ask a simple fucking question, and then all hell breaks loose because I'm wearing a fucking body cam, right? Hey, good morning. I'm good. If I was going to request access to some public records, is it a county clerk over here?
Should be the clerk's office.
Is that here local?
Camera.
It is. It's a body cam.
You'd have to go back to your car. For the judge, you don't allow cameras in that lobby.
Even though it's open to the public, I can understand the courtroom.
Look, let me get John because that's what we've been told. You don't allow any cameras in the building.
No cameras in the whole building at the Limestone County Courthouse.
What? Is that a statute?
No. Oh, go ahead. Man.
That's just a rule they made up.
Yep. The judge.
No, that violates the First Amendment.
A verbal order from the judge, right?
Wow.
I'm still not.
Nobody's challenged it.
I'm still not done fighting this one, by the way, because I can't get anybody that's not a puss at the Alabama court commission to call me back.
Wow. They probably don't want to challenge that judge.
No, probably not. But here we go. So here's Deputy Fuckwad coming out. I think his name is actually I don't know, Millwood or I don't know, Farquad. I don't know what the fuck it is. Here we go.
Sorry, you'll have to put your camera in your vehicle. Keep bringing in.
Okay, is that
Judge's orders. No cameras in the building.
Is there any way I can get a copy of that order by chance?
Just go out, put your camera in the car, come back and get it.
Well, I mean, can you bring it to me? Is what I'm asking.
I sure can. I got a hallway.
Because normally in public areas, it's protected by the Constitution.
Hang on just a minute. Okay,
I can wait. I can wait a minute if somebody else can bring it down to me. That's fine.
I'm not going to be able to bring it to you, and we're not going to run it to you. But you can't bring your camera.
That's a violation of the First Amendment, sir.
All right, sir. Got to take it up with the judge. Okay, the same judge says no cameras in the building.
Okay. Ma'am, could you jot down the judge's name and maybe a phone number so I can call that sir? Well, this. Oh no, that's fine. I just wanted the phone number for the judge's office. That's it. Okay. This is the reason my body camera is always on.
Please, just take it back. Don't get us in trouble.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble. All I need is the phone number. The phone number for the judge's office is all I'm asking for.
It's in the phone book.
And here's where it gets good. But I don't know which judge. Deputy Willard.
Millward.
Oh, Millward. I'm sorry.
Judge Wise.
I read it upside down. Judge Wise.
Right here.
All right. The reason I wear this is sometimes I get treated rather rudely.
Put it in your vehicle and come back in and take care of your business.
But you said it's Judge Wise?
Judge Wise.
W-I-S-E?
Yes. Put it in your vehicle.
I parked over
and
that
come
way.
back in. That's fine.
I got you.
We're not going to talk about this no more. Okay, we're busy.
So you don't.
We're not gonna talk
I
about
get it. You don't have to be rude, sir. I wear this because of rude people.
Okay. I've done told you 3 times myself, and you won't listen.
And I asked you
Take
if you
it
could.
out of the building.
I asked for the phone number to the judge's office,
we
and I
don't have
asked
it.
for a
It's in the
copy of the
phone book.
policy. That's all I asked for.
Judge Wise.
I'm not trying to be
Just presiding
difficult.
judge, he says no cameras.
I wear this because I sometimes run into assholes like
I
you.
understand.
I'm just coming to get.
Use profane language. Me again.
That's also
This is a public
protected,
place.
but it's
Have a good day,
also
sir.
protected.
Have a good day.
sir.
Out. Go.
You're a sergeant, sir.
Go.
Do you have a complaint form by chance?
Yes, sir.
You're his supervisor.
Yeah, you take it up with you.
I'd like to make a complaint.
Okay.
All right. So, so I don't think. I mean, number one, right? When you walk up, let me show. So here's the outside of this building. Main entrance. No firearms or knives. Let me pull this up. No firearms or knives. Right.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean,
Okay.
it's posted.
Well, I didn't carry in a firearm or a knife.
Exactly. It doesn't say no cameras.
Yeah, there's nothing that says anything about cameras. And it's
No recording devices. Nothing.
Right. Here's the best part. It's not even a written fucking order you can get a copy of. It's a verbal order. The judge told somebody who apparently told everybody else in the building that you can't have cameras.
No.
So I don't I feel like it's unconstitutional.
It is.
You should be able to.
so.
I get not going in the courtroom because sometimes there's family court happening at this courthouse. There's kids involved. You know, there's divorces. There's custody disputes. You know, there's shit like that. Hello, Nicholas, again.
A lot of
I
personal
said hello
information
to
that could
you
be caught as
earlier. What'd you do? Go take a poop and come back there, homie? Welcome back, Nicholas. You might be right, Megan. I thought that too, but I've stopped by there just to take a peek a couple times before, and I haven't seen a sign up yet.
Well, if it's not a statute in the area, well, what I mean is,
well, here's the problem.
Township, city, whatever. I mean, I don't.
Well, herein lies the problem with that, Steve.
Okay.
Alabama's ass backwards in a lot of things. And judges have almost free reign of the courthouse, not just like the whole fucking building, not just their room, their courtroom. Judge Wise, the one that he's talking about, is the presiding judge, meaning he's like the main judge that can make any fucking rule he wants to make, which is pretty shitty. Junior said, I guess that firearm is a camera. That's right. Yeah, there you go. That's right, Jorge. So, you know, if you go to some places, they have up there no filming, no cell phones, no electronic devices. I can tell you right now, if you go to municipal court in Huntsville and you have your phone out in that courtroom, they're going to make your ass, they're going to come get you. They're going to tap you on the shoulder and they're going to make you leave because they make it very clear that you can't have your cell phone out in that courtroom.
Now, don't they have security cameras?
Circuit court.
They do. They've got security cameras, but that's their cameras that they control. It's our cameras that they can't control that they don't want in there. That's where the problem is.
I break out some 007 shit, dude. Freaking hidden cameras and stuff.
Well, that's the thing. You can get glasses that
Yes,
have a little camera built in right there.
Yes, you can.
Or you know, they have them built in on the leg over here, right? However, here's where a problem comes in with using those. A lot of states have some some statutes that, and I haven't really researched Alabama to see, but some states have statutes that if you're filming surreptitiously, meaning that it's a hidden camera, then you've got problems. It becomes.
I don't think Alabama has a statute against that.
Probably not, because Alabama is a one-party state. So if I'm recording while I'm out, as long as I'm recording my conversations, then there's no problem, right? Colonel Indiana Longnut says you can get a bow tie with a camera in it. Yeah, they put cameras in just about anything now. So I talked to the. While I was waiting on the sergeant, I talked to the sergeant and was waiting on him to come back out. You see the
record in the building.
Well, but he was. The sergeant,
you can find the numbers online.
The sergeant was very professional, right? But nobody could come up with a copy of this fucking order because there was no written order. It was just a verbal order. And
but what do you get charged with if you don't comply?
You would get charged probably with disorderly conduct or failure because they told me to leave the building and go put it in my car. They'd probably try some kind of trespass bullshit.
Yeah.
Criminal trespass in the third or some shit like that.
Yeah, but in a public building.
Yeah. I mean,
I find that hard.
I
guess
want.
You could try, would it be contempt? It's a judge's order, so would it be contempt?
How do I know it's a judge's order? The judge didn't fucking tell me.
Right.
This is
the order.
This is fourth and fifth hand.
It's not written.
It's fourth and fifth hand information by the time it gets to me. I don't even know if the judge fucking gave it. Hell, his secretary should have said, "Hey, the judge don't really want cameras in the building," and it's not an actual. Because here's the thing: a judge's order is in my understanding of Alabama law, a judge's order is not enforceable unless it's enrolled. Mm-hmm. It has to be part of an official record.
At that point, it could have been hearsay for all you know.
Exactly. So I really want to challenge this rule. But I also don't really want to visit the Limestone County lockup. You know,
anybody really wants to visit any kind of lockup.
Now, the good news is I've got a really good relationship. You know, the sheriff and I have talked several times. Great guy, very professional dude. I think he would probably understand where I'm coming from, but he can't defy an arrest order from a judge. If the judge says charge him with contempt or whatever, then the sheriff can't just say, "Oh, well, I'm not going to do that." But I do want to dig in a little more to this. So that's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet. I can tell you probably what's going to happen is I'm probably going to go back out there with my big camera instead of just my body camera. And I'm probably going to stand my ass. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm probably going to stand my ass right the fuck here. Like right here on this sidewalk and just film everything happening.
You're going to have to go there with a full camera crew, a big camera, a boom mic, the lighting, the whole 9 yards, man. See what they do.
Yeah. Jamie's got that. That's the thing. You know how some of those courthouses are. That's exactly right. So, I mean, my revisit over there is going to be to somewhat challenge that. But I'm not going to go inside with the camera. But I am going to go inside, and I am going to come see you, Judge Wise, and I want to get a copy of that order. So I will be coming to get a copy of that order. I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to file a complaint with the Judicial Ethics Board or something if I have to. We'll figure something out. Megan says round 2, ding ding. But I mean, here's my thought process, right? Is if I'm
I know there is a judicial review board in Alabama because there was a judge that called the governor old and out of name or something. They removed her off her bench and then had to put her back. But I do know there is a review board for that kind of stuff.
In the Limestone County courthouse, all of the courtrooms are upstairs, if I remember right.
Right. Yeah.
So why is there a problem with the camera downstairs?
Downstairs. Yeah.
I mean, I fully understand not wanting the camera to film women and
Courtrooms are
children going
considered
through,
closed.
right, going through, divorce or something like that. I get that. No cameras on the second floor. Hey, I can agree with that, because there's literally nothing on the second floor but the courtrooms.
Yeah.
So there's no need to go up there with the camera if you know you can't film in the courtroom, right? What's up, Southpaw 73? Good to see you. But I don't know. I want to challenge it because I think it's wrong. I also eventually at some point we're gonna look at the Alabama Opens Records law in a little bit, because I think there's some shit wrong with that too. And then we're also going to look at the disorderly conduct statute in Alabama too. Because both of those need some challenges. I think we're going to petition my local congressman about the Alabama Open Records law, because law enforcement are starting to hide their body cam footage now, which I think is very wrong. We're going backwards.
Where they put it?
JD, what's up, Joe? No, there's a Supreme Court case in Alabama where the Monroe County Sheriff's Department was sued by a news media outlet because they refused to release body camera footage. And the Supreme Court sided with law enforcement, said that law enforcement in Alabama doesn't have to release their footage. It's not part of the open records law.
What?
Yeah.
I heard that at certain police stations or precincts or whatever, they won't release it for public viewing. I think that a lot of it has everything to do with, I mean, they could incriminate themselves very easily.
Well, I think a lot of it too, like in some cases, it can also, if you release the video before the case goes to court, it can compromise pieces of that case. And I think some of that, is what they worry about. But I also think it should be released because they're public servants, and serving the public, you are recording, and what you do should be subject to.
Yeah, I agree. So Jorge, I need you to clarify something for me on this. I'm not sure if I'm reading it wrong or if it's typed out differently, but you said your dad had a ticket for speed and he took out his phone because he's illegal over here in Chicago and he got arrested for it. Do you mean that trying to film the police they said was illegal, or do you mean that your dad doesn't have citizenship papers and they tried to get him hemmed up with ICE or something? So anyway, so Deputy Dickwad, I'm going to come back to the courthouse and I'm going to film outside in the full fucking public. And depending on the day, I might challenge this this statute. We're going to look at it. Well, matter of fact, fuck, let's pull it up right now, right? So he told me, Deputy Dickwad said he was going to have me arrested for using profanity in public. Let's see.
But there was no public.
Well, even if, right? So let me pull this up. Let's see. All right, let's pull this up. I'm going to zoom in on a little bit here. So this is section 13A 11-7 of the Alabama Code. A person commits the crime of disorderly conduct if, with the intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, or recklessly creating a risk thereof, he or she does any of the following: engages in fighting or violent, tumultuous, or threatening behavior. Okay, well, I didn't do that. Makes unreasonable noise. I didn't do that. I wasn't hollering. I wasn't banging fucking pans and, blowing horns or nothing like that. Here's the part he was talking about right here. In public place, uses abusive or obscene language or makes an obscene gesture. So that's where if you flip somebody off in Alabama, you can be arrested for disorderly conduct.
That's ridiculous because that still falls under the First Amendment.
Although, yeah, I totally agree with you. Although I'm pretty sure, and I've got to do a little bit more research, but I actually ran across there was a court case in 2008 that actually challenged this very thing of flipping somebody off in public, and an officer arrested a teenager for flipping somebody off, and the officer requested summary judgment to dismiss the case because he said he was acting, within the scope of his job and that it violated the statute. And the court did not agree and said no. The court didn't agree and said that he is not entitled to qualified immunity because he acted outside the scope of this law. That there's other court cases, and I'll have to do further research. Hey, Rod Wilson, what's up, buddy? It's basically the same exact thing. The kid was flipping somebody off. The cop saw it. The cop got the kid. The kid told the cop to fuck off. He wasn't giving him any ID. He didn't do anything wrong. And, the cop got butt hurt and arrested him for all that. But as you can see, the law itself is very fucking vague. Like, for one thing, what is obscene language? What words exactly are classified as obscene? My wife
I would
doesn't
say
like
anything that causes public annoyance or alarm.
Okay, well, but there's some people that just have annoying fucking voices.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's all kinds of Karens out there.
Exactly.
So,
but I think that this law is way too vague. There are some court cases that I'm going to dig into a little bit more, because if I ever get picked up while I'm out filming, it's probably going to be under this statute. If you piss the wrong cop off or anything like that.
Yeah. There it is. Obstructs vehicle.
Man,
Here,
that needs to be amended really bad, because it, like you said, it's vague as hell.
Yeah. So Megan says, so here's a question. Let's say you said one bad word. Would they arrest you for that? Do you have to say multiple bad words to get arrested? Like, clarify. I'm with you on that. That officer said if I said one more obscene word.
Yeah, but you have to be, I would, even under that statute, he said you were in public. Okay. Granted. But
well, it was him. It was him and one other person. Right. It was him and one other person. Yeah. But here's here's the rest of the backstory for that day, right? My bank account was a little low that day. Because so I bit my tongue, but what I wanted to say instead of that's protected speech under the First Amendment was, how about you go fuck yourself?
I would have said it for you if I was there.
Well, had my bank account not been so low and I had enough money for bail, I would have. Because I feel like this law, there's a couple of things happening here. Number one, just the language of this law is too vague, which on its face makes it unconstitutional to me. There's not enough text in this. I mean, there's not enough text in this law to spell out what needs to be spelled out.
Well, the only time I ever used this law was and I didn't even arrest him. I was going to, but they changed their tune when I put them in handcuffs. But that obstructs vehicular, pedestrian, traffic, or transportation facility. We had a group of guys at a college that were water ballooning cars going down the roadway, and that obstructs traffic. Only time I ever used that law.
Well, and I mean, don't get me wrong. We don't need a lawless society, right? You shouldn't be able to go out there and threaten to kick somebody's ass. I get that should be like an assault or harassment or menacing, or something, different states call it different things. Here it would be harassment. But Rice says, I would say using the C word would get you some trouble. I may test that theory for you at some point, Rob. I think I'm gonna set up we'll probably set up like a GoFundMe bail fund account. So that's just some money sitting there. Yeah. But yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What is considered an obscene word, right? Is, of course, I mean, I consider cunt a pretty rough word, but people in other countries don't. It's used a lot in Australia, for example, and it's not considered that bad.
UK.
Right. But like my wife is extremely offended by the word fart. So is that offensive? It offends her. She don't like it. See, a word like offensive is too subjective. It's just too subjective. You can't,
because anybody can be offended by anything, especially nowadays.
Oh, exactly. Here you go. Megan says, yeah, Megan says the other thing is what counts as obscene language, because we tell the kids not to say shut up, but eventually they learn it. Can I say shut up to them? Can I call them stupid? Exactly. I mean, where does it stop? Where does it stop? What I just, you can't write laws to make people think a certain way. I mean, laws need to be there to protect other people. Well, if I'm out there and I called that deputy that he was an asshole, where's the victim in that? That's my free speech, right? If some kid walked by and heard me call the deputy an asshole, then hey, mom or dad, that's a teaching moment for your child. When your child wants to know why somebody was calling that cop an asshole, then you have a couple of options there. You can either agree that the cop was an asshole, or you can tell them, well, son, that guy was an asshole for calling that cop an asshole. I mean, it's whatever,
Basically, all I see here, they should just reword this entire thing to where it says, don't bother me, or anything that offends me, or anything along them lines, because that's basically what I'm reading here.
Yeah, it's just way too vague. It's way too vague.
Like
so it's been litigated some in court, and we may dig into it some a little bit later. There's a lot of case research that I need to do on this. I just ran across it today. Some of the court cases, and and then that court case kind of cites another court case, which cites another court case. So I got some rabbit holing to do, but I will eventually get into it. I want to dig in and see some more of that shit. So not only do you have officers that freak out when the camera comes out, but you have other people freak out. Some of you were in my live stream the other day. Let's see. Not this one.
This the bank manager.
This is the real life Tiny Tim.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I think I closed the wrong thing.
It's kind of like that video we went over last week with that business owner come out there and assaulted that guy filming on the sidewalk.
Yeah. I mean, it does. People need to understand that, it doesn't matter how you feel or what you think about a camera being out in a public area.
Yeah.
It's perfectly legal.
Well,
and there's nothing
either.
Yeah. And
like
there's nothing.
People try to do things like they're the police officer and they're going to try to enforce things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, watch your mouth. How am I going to watch my fucking mouth? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Linda
says, good old Kim baggy pants.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's like people come running out and you're driving down the road. Slow down. Well, what's the fucking speed limit? Because it said 25 on that sign. I'm going 25 here just because you haven't went through the proper training on speed by eyesight. You're gonna come out here in the fucking road and tell me to slow down?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. I've actually had somebody try to tell me that in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you know, they hollered out something. Our neighborhood is 25 miles per hour, right? And
Yep.
I was doing 27. Whoa, 2 miles over the speed limit, right?
You got to control yourself there, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that one, I basically just went disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
I was like, basically, you know, fuck yourself kind of thing. So let's take a look. Let's meet Tim at Redstone Federal Credit Union, real quick. So here's how it started, right? I was just recording. I wasn't even live streaming. I was just recording because I thought this was neat. There's a dude right here working on this ATM machine. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what he's doing. So, kind of surprised they don't have somebody else kind of making sure nobody drives up on them, you know? So, see, that was my whole thing, right? So, this dude is out here by himself at the moment working on this machine. I don't see anybody else standing around for his protection, watching him, right? So, if somebody had pulled up and stuck a gun to this dude's face, my camera would have captured the tag number or something, right?
Yeah.
So my camera being there is really not such a bad thing, in my opinion. What's up, Mia? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. So anyway, I was filming, and you can see we're like a couple of minutes in. Let's see how far we actually get in. Right here.
There he is.
At 3 minutes or so in is when I realized somebody's coming out of the bank, and he had that walk of purpose happening, y'all. Watch this. Let's meet Tim.
Wow.
I knew it was coming, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna back the camera out so I can at least get this interaction. I'm good. How are you? I don't need any help, thank you. Filming. To film. Who are you with? What's your name, sir? My name's Tim. All right, Tim. My name's David. I'm just filming in public, brother. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, hey.
All right.
Well, all right. Thank you. Okay. Have a good day.
So, what you eat? What are you eating over there, fat ass?
It's called a crinkle. We went to this. We went to a Filipino store, and they had these crinkles in there, and they're amazing.
I'm putting you full screen. What is that now? It's called a crinkle.
This one's chocolate.
God! So it's chocolate. What's that on the outside? Like a powdered sugar kind of thing or something?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! You fat fucker, you.
Oh, it's so good.
God damn. Y'all know how
I'm trying to be like Tim.
Oh yeah. Well, you got a long ways to go there, homeboy. But y'all know how I like food, right? So I noticed he's over there eating. I had to take a peek at that. You thought I had the other screen pulled up real quick. You can try to sneak a bite in. I called you out on it.
One of these streams we're going to end up just doing, something about food.
Yeah, we'll just mukbang the whole time. We sit here eating barbecue ribs and have barbecue all over our face.
There you go.
Yeah. See, Megan agrees with me. She's like, whoa, that looks amazing. So it's called a crinkle from a Filipino store.
Yeah, they have a Filipino store here in Nashville. We went by there.
Is it seasonal?
Crinkles. It's year round.
Oh, I was going to say
they have these ones that's called a ube. It's called ube, and those are they're purple, like bright purple, but they're amazing. It's a different flavor. It's like a purple plum kind of fruit or something, but it's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, Lord have mercy. All right, let's get back to the video because now I'm starting to get hungry over here. So this should have been the end of This should have been the end of it.
Should have been.
Right. I mean, Tim came out. He asked me what I was doing, and obviously he didn't like my answer. And this brings me to a question. Now I want you two and the chat to please weigh in on this. Right? Y'all seen some of these videos, when somebody comes out, they always ask the same questions. Can I help you? You're not really asking me if I need help.
No,
you're not really.
Know what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, you. That's basically the question you're asking when you come out there is, what the fuck are you up to?
Yeah.
And Tim comes pretty close because he's like, well, can I ask, what you're doing? And I'm like, well, I'm filming. And then he says, for what purpose? And I'm like, just to film. And then he says, who you with? What does it matter? What if I told you I was with, I don't know, the fucking CIA? I mean, what does it matter, right? So what answer? Yeah, what answer do you think people are looking for when they come out and ask those questions? What answer would have appeased Tim so that this confrontation didn't go any further? What answer would have satisfied him, you think?
I don't think you could have given one that would have satisfied him.
I would have told him that I'm here trying to get footage of you because of that claim you put in with the insurance company. Clearly you're at work.
Oh, fuck. I know. Dude, hold on. You just gave me a great idea. From now on, when somebody comes out and asks me something like that, I'm going to be like, once I find out who they are, I'm going to be like, fuck, Tim, I'm so glad I found you. Dude, I have been trying to get in touch with you about your extended car warranty.
I was waiting on you to come out so I could offer this extended car warranty.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna have to do. Hey, Sean, welcome to the stream, buddy. How you doing? Good to see you. Linda K said, nope, not our Tim. He wanted to add some friends. I do have to say I was a little hard on Tim. I was moody that day, and I even admit to it in my video. I was a bit fucking moody. But like no shit, like right before he walked up, maybe 5 seconds before I noticed him coming out of that building, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, I saw the dude working on the machine. This is fucking boring. I watched what I wanted to watch. I'm about to get back in the car.
Yeah.
And then my boy Tim comes out to talk to me. But I get to answer this question again to somebody as to what I'm doing, right? And she didn't like my answer either.
It's a shame you weren't hiding in that bush.
I know. Well, so in all honesty, right, I wasn't 100% sure where the property line ended. What property line was what.
Well,
now
looks like you're in another parking lot too, aren't you?
I am. I'm not on their property. I know that for certain.
Yeah.
Right. But property lines can extend out a little bit. But you see that building down there? You see this building right here?
Yeah.
So right at the corner of this building we're going to see here in a minute when I start walking down that way is a barbecue place called Shababy's. And so Shababy's, this is where they smoke their ribs and their pulled pork and stuff like that. This is where they do that at. There's a sidewalk right here that connects those two parking lots. So that's where Tim's headed right now. Tim's pissed off at me right there because he didn't get the answer he was looking for, which I still don't know what that answer was. I mean, I don't know, like Adam and I said, I don't know that there is an answer.
You could have said you're with the insurance company following the armored car service that's failing to provide adequate security for the ATM repairman.
Hey, Sean Chaslin. Look at Sean. Y'all see what Sean's doing?
Always be moody.
I see what he says.
That's for you. Hey,
disorderly conduct.
Wait. Hold on. Sean, look, I got a present for you, buddy. Let me unwrap it for you. All right. So I am quite often moody. I'm not gonna bullshit you there. I am quite often moody. But Michael had an idea when he said when he asked if I needed help, I should have said, yeah, can you help film for me? I might do that next time. I might be like, hey, yeah, can you hold my camera so that and film this in the background so I can Will you take a selfie of me? I've been waiting on somebody to come out and take a selfie of me. Will you take a selfie of me?
Now, I did have that happen. I did have that happen to me at one point in time. My parents lived in I guess a townhouse community, and there was assigned parking spaces in front of all the houses where you would have one for the house and then one for a visitor, one for a house, one for a visitor. Well, I had a buddy of mine come over. I think we went over for like Thanksgiving or something one night, and he parked in one of the visitor spots. Well, we were out there talking. He was getting ready to leave, and this woman comes out of the house, and she comes out and she stands there with her, like this. She goes, "Can I help you?" I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, can you go in and make me a sandwich?" And she didn't like that answer, but she went away. So it worked. It worked out.
Well, let's follow old Tim down here because he's about to go stir the pot a little bit. The right thing to do here, Tim, if you ever wondered, would have been to walk right back in the bank and ignore me. Yeah. That would have been the thing because I really wasn't
go recruit some help.
I really wasn't planning on having an interaction right there. You know, I was just going to film that ATM for a minute, realized I didn't really have that good of an angle on it. I was about to be like, fuck it, and get back in the car.
Tim didn't like that.
Yeah, he just became the story.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tim's going to go inside and try to solicit his trespass now.
What is this guy doing, man?
Now, y'all watch this. Y'all watch this old dude in the silver truck here because I'm almost positive he called the sheriff's department, but I think they told him they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, they got better shit to do.
Yeah.
I hate when people
All
think that the world's going to stop over something like that.
So let me break this down, my thought process here. Tell me what y'all think. So here, this is clearly these people's parking lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I'm parked in their parking lot. I'm parked in their lot, but I wasn't filming their property. If I'm going to film a property, I'm going to park in a different parking lot for a couple of reasons. Number one, if I'm asked to leave, then I only just have to walk off a little bit. I don't have to get in the car, crank it, you know, all that bullshit, right? So this is clearly their parking lot. I know that they use this to do their that Shababies does their smoking and stuff here. I also know there's a public sidewalk that cuts through right here. But look at this right here. What is this? It's a light pole. Now, it's not the light pole from the county. So I'm figuring, okay, this is part of this development where they built this, right? But look at this magical little thing right here.
Well, that's an easement right there. That's buried gas.
Well, that's actually an AT&T line.
It's fiber optic then.
Yeah, I thought it was gas, but yeah, it said AT&T on it because I actually tell them there's gas line easement right there. So I was wrong. Sorry, Tim, I fucked up. I was wrong. It's not gas, it's telephone or communications. But so I'm walking like right up in here. So I'm between this and this. So I'm trying to stay on what I would consider an easement. You know, I mean, it looks like an easement to me.
Well,
so
that is an easement.
Yeah, I'm not gonna come up in your parking lot and get all up in your fucking business and shit and all up in your face because that's not how I operate. I'm gonna stay over here off your property for a couple of reasons. Number one, so you don't feel threatened with me walking right the fuck up on you. And two, because you can't tell me to leave from property that don't belong to you. So let's go visit Tim. So this old dude's watching me.
Look at that.
Yeah, I see him. And then they don't want to be on camera now, huh?
He's
that when she's gonna come.
There he is.
Hey, how's it going? I'm just filming in public. That's it. It's called the First Amendment of the Constitution.
And is something wrong, or?
I didn't ask for any help. I didn't say anything was wrong. Yep, I'm just filming.
Filming the property.
I'm not filming your property until Tim over here decided to come over there and get you involved. I wasn't filming your property.
Filming was because Tim came over here?
Yeah. I wasn't filming your property. I was filming over there. And this
She's
is
so
a
confused.
public right of way for the gas line and the meters. I didn't come in there bothering y'all's business.
You're fine. I was just wondering what was going on. It's all
That's it.
made in film. So
How? Look at this, cuz.
He's just standing there.
Yeah. Now, just in a hot second, you're gonna see he's on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
How's it odd? How is it not a normal thing? I'm credentialed media. Okay. Tim just didn't like my answer, did you, Tim? You don't like the First Amendment of the United States Constitution?
I don't answer questions.
What I was doing.
I don't answer questions.
And I was cordial, right? Okay. Well, that's fine. I'm going to go on about my business. You can go on about yours. How's that?
Good.
Sounds great. Thank you, ma'am. Tim's an asshole.
All right. So, in all fairness to Tim, right? He really wasn't like an asshole. I mean, he didn't get the answer he wanted. He didn't really like it, but he wasn't rude. You know, he didn't try to tell me to leave, you know, or anything like that. But I'm just here to tell you, anybody that's watching this, if anybody ever shows up outside your place of business or where you work with a camera and you want to go insert yourself and ask some questions, expect this kind of a response, because there's a couple of things going on here. Number one, my business ain't your business. What I'm doing, I'm not required to tell anybody what I'm doing or why I'm doing anything. We're in America. We're free fucking people to come and go as we please, do as we please, unless we're going to hurt somebody else. It's that simple. So it doesn't matter. I mean, there's plenty of hobbies out there that I think are weird, and I don't do them. My hobby happens to be toting a camera and filming stuff. Not everybody's going to understand that, but I'm not going to look down on other. All right, let's take this for example. I don't bird watch, right?
Right.
So let's say I'm in a park and there's somebody with a set of binoculars and they're looking up in trees and whatever, you know, and they're bird watching. And I don't understand the whole bird watching phenomenon. So if I want to ask some questions, they're not required to tell me what they're doing. What they are doing is not my business.
It's none of you.
Right. It's their business.
Fucking business.
Exactly. It's their business. It's what they're doing. It's what they enjoy. Right. And so y'all remember way back in the day when there was a camera around, everybody would come and try to get in front of that camera and get on that camera. Hi, mom. Hi, mom. You know, stuff like that.
Now they're scared of it.
Sean says he likes bird watching, just not the birds with wings. Don't go any further into that explanation there, Sean. I'm not monetized yet. I don't want to get any community guideline strikes. So let's go back to Tim real quick. I was actually a little wrong there. Tim was not actually an asshole. He was just nosy.
Tim works for Redstone Federal Credit Union and doesn't like the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Look at him. He's butthurt, y'all. Poor Tim is so butthurt right now. Poor Tim. Poor Tim.
All right, so this was just me being a moody asshole right there is all that was, right? So I'm just standing around bitching basically for a little while. Here comes Tim again. So I'm like,
Damn.
oh fuck, here we go again.
Round 3.
How's it going, Tim? How you doing?
Great. Get your Coke or anything?
No, I'm good.
You good? Okay.
I'm good. Did y'all call the police? If you did, I'm gonna hang around and wait on them.
I'm not going to give you the content that you're looking for, so we didn't call the police. So,
well, I wasn't looking for that, to be honest with you. I just thought it was kind of.
All right, so Tim said he wasn't going to give me the content I was looking for when actually I'd already filmed the content I was looking for, which was just the ATM being worked on back there. But so Tim said they didn't call the police, but I'm pretty sure that
I'm not going to give you content today, so.
I'm not up to anything there,
and that's
Tim.
the thing. There's no reason to call the police because
It's perfectly legal.
You're
That's
good.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
no,
I wasn't. Get you a drink or anything?
I got one in the car. I appreciate it.
All right, let's just check it out, man.
But hey,
That was nice of
it was no ill will. I literally just thought it was kind of neat when they were working on the machine.
Yeah, I know.
Just got a couple of minutes of that and was about to head
Well, you
out.
got to understand, I'm a manager. I see somebody filming. I got to at least come out and say hi. How's it going? What you up to?
I get it, but walking over there and creating more chaos. See, like she's trying to film me and take pictures now.
I waved at her right there.
Well,
I'm not sure about the video
I
cut
know
out.
her. They're next to her, and we're just,
Oh, I know.
we're friends.
No.
So I mean,
you didn't like the fact I was filming, and I get it. That's fine. You don't have to
I
like
didn't like it.
Well, but then you come over here and stir up shit.
I didn't stir up anything. I was just chatting with a neighbor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, that's all I'm doing. I'm just chatting with my neighbors online.
That's cool. Welcome to it, man.
They love you, Tim. Take care.
Take care.
All right. So mistakes were also made right here because Tim offered me a Coca-Cola. What I should have said was, Tim, that would be fucking amazing. Thank you, please. But I would prefer maybe a Sundrop instead of a Coke. And while you're at it, could I please get like a Snickers bar? Because apparently I'm fucking moody today. That's probably how I should have responded. But anything, I mean, you know, I missed an opportunity to get a free fucking soda out of this deal. You know, I mean,
you know, hindsight's 2020. It's a learning experience.
I know it. Next time,
go back here tomorrow.
Next time, Tim, I will take you up on that Coca-Cola. I sure will. But
he seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, he is. He just. There's a lot of variables when you come out to approach somebody with a camera, right?
Yeah,
true.
Number one, how are they going to respond to you? Obviously, I was super fucking friendly, right, about the whole thing. But you know, when you come out, there was no answer that would have made him happy. And so if you're just coming out there to get a closer look at me in case some shit goes sideways, then fine, come out there, ask a couple of questions, and no matter what answer you get or whatever, be like, okay, all right, well, great, have a nice day, okay? And then go the fuck back inside.
Yeah, I can kind of understand him asking questions. I think if you're like, because of the ATM situation, are you filming their process and why? You know what I mean?
There's probably
I can kind of understand some of that, but once you figure out you're just somebody out there filming,
there's probably no way that you could use that footage of what they were doing with that ATM to do anything malicious.
Well,
because they got a key to get in that thing.
Right. Well, other than the fact that there was only one.
Well, and here's another thing, right? So this was from my little phone that I stream with and shit, right? Which does not have great zoom capabilities because these phones aren't meant to really zoom that great. I didn't have my big camera. Had I had my big camera, I could have zoomed in and probably seen a lot of shit that was happening, right? In my opinion, that's a little bit of a super security concern, and I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna give you know, I don't want to catch people's like PIN numbers and, you know, shit like that.
Right.
And, you know, I mean,
Right, no.
I might not seem like it, Tim. Tim's my buddy now, by the way. I might not seem like it, Tim, but I promise you, I'm not totally fucking stupid. And so I wouldn't do anything that would really jeopardize the bank. However, I think that company might really want to here's the fact that they only had the one fucking dude standing out there. But here's the other thing. The parts of it he may have had access to may not have had anything to do with the money.
Yeah, true.
Normally they're not gonna allow one person out there with access to the money without at least somebody from the bank standing there watching. So what he was doing probably had nothing to do with the money part of that machine. Tim, if you did, Sean said he wonders if Tim subscribes since then. Tim, if you did subscribe to the channel, I thank you. And our viewers really do love you. And I really was kind of an asshole that day. But you know, shit happens. But I don't know. I often wonder if there's a better way to handle these kinds of what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And I've gone through it in my head multiple times, and it's like I say, I don't think there is an answer you can give.
No,
I don't think there's any.
I mean, I don't think there is either.
Because there's a lot of variables, right? There's a variable on what kind of day Tim was having, how trustworthy Tim is, or how trusting Tim is, rather, how big of a skeptic he is, how super security conscious he is, what kind of day I might have been having so far that day, how big of an asshole I could be. You know, there's a whole lot of variables that come into play when you have an interaction like this. So I don't even think there's a blanket answer.
Right.
That you
know, honestly, I think he was actually pretty professional.
He was. That's what I'm saying. I was in the wrong when I said, you know, when I said Tim was an asshole. Tim's not really an asshole. He just was doing his job. Didn't like my answer. But I mean, really, when I told him I'm just filming in public, that was the answer. That's it. That's 100%. What I was doing.
That was the wrong answer for Tim.
Must have been. Michael Tingley says if he was accessing money, you need a cop with a shotgun for protection. And you see that at your grocery store at the ATM. Yeah, I imagine if they were accessing the money part of it, there would have been somebody else out there with him. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But you know, in the time that I've been doing this and going out and filming stuff, you know, it's been very few instances where I've had a problem or I've had any kind of confrontation. I mean, we just looked at the few that I had, and that's it. I mean, I don't have the problems that some other channels do. And part of the reason I don't have some of those problems is I think primarily I don't go out there looking for those problems. Right?
Yeah.
I could have shifted that. While I probably could have handled myself a little more professionally in that interaction with Tim, I also could have went way the other direction, and it could have got really loud, and it could have gotten really escalated. But I'm not.
I think
quite
Tim
that.
was pretty non-confrontational. I don't.
Yeah,
think
he was
confrontational.
Out of a lot of the confrontation type videos that I've seen, I think his is one of the best. You know, he said he was just going over there to talk to the neighbors. I find that a little sus, and that the moment I came around that corner, that woman immediately starts. So they had talked about the fact that there was somebody filming standing over there on the edge of their property.
Yeah. She thought she was going to come get answers.
I guess so. I don't know. But anyway, word to the wise out there in Huntsville metro area, if you see me hanging around somewhere with the camera and you don't want to be on the camera, just don't come talk to it. Don't come talk to it. Let me get my video and let me get on the fuck about my way. I mean, you know, if you think there's a problem, Get your camera out, film what the fuck I'm doing. You know, I don't care. It's just you're right. Welcome to America. You know, this whole see something, say something shit that started after September 11th. It has a place, but it's not for any Joe Blow out there with a camera. We're not terrorists, you know. We're just media gatherers. That's it. Let me see. I had so we've been talking about the First Amendment. I want to at least get one more little video in. There was let's see, here we go. All right, so this is CY and CH and Ty audits. They go out and they film in public buildings. Let me see if I can get this pulled up here. They go out and film in public buildings. Why is this not sharing? Come on now. Oh, I got to swap tabs. Bam, there we go. Sorry. So this is from CH and Ty audits. They go out and film in public areas, and they're at like a I don't know if this is a courthouse.
That's what it looks like.
Or what? But this is not going to go well.
I'm here. It helps with the story, where it helps for my story if I can get good scenes, skimming the walls, showing the architecture, showing the trees and whatnot.
Okay.
There's not a security risk. That's nonsense.
Okay. Did you talk to our head of security?
No, we only talked
No,
to you.
but
You said everything was
you guys,
okay.
well, you guys.
You have someone else with you all.
He's
out there. He was talking to our.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm not with him. I'm not with him. I honestly don't know what the problem is. I think that you being employed by the county, the rules that you're paid to enforce are the laws with, regards to this courthouse. There's no law.
Ask that you speak to our head of security.
Well, okay. No, I just asked that you guys.
So this is a courthouse where they don't want anybody filming, right? So they're standing over here, and then then this fella comes out. These two come out, all hopped up and ready to rock and roll.
Can't we talk right here?
To talk to you.
Okay, we can talk right here, man.
There's business going on here. Let's go.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, there's business going on. I don't know what this is all about, guys. What do you mean now? Is that an order? Is that an order?
Let's go out here. Yes, it is.
Okay, what's going to happen if I don't?
That's up to you.
No, it isn't. I'm not going to force you to violate me. I have a right to be here.
Let's go outside here and we'll talk about it.
Hey. Okay, you can't. You're going to physically assault us because we want to see the clerk of court?
Okay, what's he doing? Putting his hand on the
trying to see
this is how you try to talk to people?
Yes.
You fucking thug.
Okay. That's it.
Oh, what's going on here? Oh my.
You getting all this?
Yeah, I wanted to see the clerk.
It's got out of control.
Out of control is somebody's official, a legal order.
It wasn't a legal order.
Now, matter of fact, I asked you to step on the side.
You did. That wasn't a legal order if you asked.
You're about to mess up big time. You can't just arrest me for asking a question.
And maybe we'll retire here one of these days. And on that foot, I hope you got that too.
Okay. So you can call us morons, but when he calls you a thug, you put him in handcuffs.
I'm not going anywhere.
Why?
Now, the other arm did it, if you wanted.
Wow, amazing.
So, that is why I didn't push the envelope too terribly fucking much at the Limestone County Courthouse, because Deputy Dickwad definitely would have arrested me.
What's the outcome of that case? Do we know yet? Is there any outcome?
Not yet, because it just recently happened. My understanding though is that they did release him later. Let's see. Let me get. So here's where they get somebody else to come out and talk to them.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to leave, and if you don't want to be in handcuffs, you're going to have to leave too. Okay.
For what?
You're not allowed to come in here and video. Okay, because of security reasons. So leave or go to jail.
I'll be arrested. I'll be arrested.
Leave.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. So this is the part where I think they come out.
I'm sorry? You got a vehicle? No, I'm walking. Okay.
You got a vehicle or something?
Wait and see what happens to my friend Craig in there.
So we can get your tag number?
All we're doing is documenting the building.
Doing what? I'm sorry.
Documenting the building.
For
It's a historical building.
this is not.
Well, no, we come to every courthouse in small towns. We just go around.
Okay.
And
You got any
document.
ID or can care if I see it?
See my ID?
Yeah.
For what?
I'll just ask you. That's all I do.
I only give my ID when I commit
Okay,
a crime.
fine. Let's step over here.
Okay.
Let's go. Step right across the street over there. Okay, that'll get you off of this section of property. And
This
then
public
video right there
this
at the
this
road.
public property?
This right here, this all state right here.
It's
That's right.
public.
I say it stay right here. It's public. Yeah.
Okay.
Right here, state. That's what I'm saying. Stay right there.
But the
You're
state
in
is
good shape.
public though.
You're good shape right here. But
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. You get as close as you can. That'll be right there.
Right here?
There you go. Yeah, you're good.
This easement? Okay. Thank you.
Sidewalk's right over there.
He just told me to come here.
No, that's public. Over there is public too.
Okay.
These motherfuckers don't have a clue what they're doing.
Wow.
Right. You're goddamn right. You talk to me that way, you're goddamn right. I complied with everything you said. I complied with everything they said. I waited. The man told me, come down here. I went down there. I talked to the lady.
That's correct.
And then you come yelling at me like I'm not a person.
Really?
Gosh, you're getting awful upset. What are you getting so upset about?
You're the one that got upset.
You're the one that's got a temper, man. You got a temper problem.
And that's against the law?
Oh, that's
Step
against
back
the law.
away from me.
I'm not bothering you.
Oh my goodness. Why would you need to do that?
Here's that intimidation bullshit.
Yeah, what's your name?
My
I
name is
wouldn't
Bob.
move.
Okay. Sheriff.
Mr. Woods?
I'm not shaking your hand.
I don't want to shake your hand.
Okay, that's good.
How do you perceive me as a criminal or a
I
threat
don't
in
perceive
any
you as
way?
anything
Then
except
why
for-
would you treat me this way? I would.
Now this is the actual sheriff.
Yeah.
That's
Right
the
here.
sheriff.
Yeah, this is the sheriff, the actual
Jesus.
sheriff.
That
Looks
guy
like-
needs to go on a diet, man. Look at this guy.
Looks like Boss Hog, right? But you saw how he kept stepping up, and he's
Yep.
he's kind of pushing this guy backwards.
Yeah. I just stood there. I
Why would
wouldn't
you
let him
treat
run
me this
into
way?
me.
I didn't even talk to you.
You're in a video camera and video in my courthouse where we have security problems.
What's the big deal?
The new hide behind the badge shirt.
So,
but why move?
Well, it's all about intimidation and control, right?
Yeah.
Does it matter if you're standing on the left side of the fucking building or the right side of the building?
Yeah. What do you got to do? Stand on your left leg?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, the officers feeling like, we're in control here and you're going to do what we tell you to do. When, I mean, had they just let them walk through the fucking building and get a little video, they'd have been out in 10 minutes or less. Now you've tied up all these deputies for 20 to 30 fucking minutes over a camera.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some people are just ridiculous.
well, it's
a lot
all
of
about
the-
power.
Well, you heard him come out and say it was security reasons. And a lot of departments and places like security and safety is supposed to trump all else. And I think he's trying to lean on that. I don't think that's the case. Because like in a jail setting, safety and security trumps all. And that is the case in a jail. That's why people get their head shaved when they walk in. People say, I have the right to freedom of expression with my long dreads and stuff. Like, no, not in the jail, you don't. Because you can get lice and all these other things that can hide in the hair. You hide drugs in your hair and razor blades. I think we found razor blades in somebody's hair. I mean,
And I'm all for
in jail, that's understood.
I'm
but not at
all
courthouse.
I'm all for safety and security. I'm all for
He's
that,
just
right?
leaning
I
on
want
that.
I want to know when I walk in, the courthouse. I want to know that people have gone through security checkpoint. They've gone through a metal detector. I want to know that I'm probably as safe as I can possibly be in that building at that time. I'm all for that. But where's the security concern with the camera?
Right.
The only thing the camera can kill is a career.
Yeah.
From a bad cop. You know? And you know, I've always
see they're leaning on that thing too of the qualified immunity. You know, and I don't think it would apply in that case. Even the sheriff was trying to lean on that shit because I wouldn't have moved. That fat ass sheriff would have had to run into me.
Yeah.
And as soon as he made contact with me, I'd be filing a report.
Well, now there is
contacts harassment.
There is an officer video that we might can look at next week, but there was actually an officer somewhere that that kind of chest bumped somebody with the camera to back him up. And he actually filed criminal charges. He filed criminal assault charges against that officer, and there's a warrant that was issued.
What's up, Ace?
Yep. Ace Pilot, what's up?
I've also seen a video where a police officer pulled over a guy outside. He got him for the traffic infraction inside the city, but he crossed over into the county before he could get him stopped because he couldn't catch up to him because he was speeding and driving reckless. Well, he still has jurisdiction even out in the county, and he pulls the vehicle over. Well, the sheriff of the county pulls up on this traffic stop.
Oh, I saw that one.
And the police officer issued the guy a ticket for reckless driving. And the sheriff said, "Where did he pull you over?" Yada, yada, yada. And he starts going into where he pulled him over out in the county and all this other shit. And the guy said, you know, the sheriff was like, "Just give me the ticket. I'll have it, you know, dismissed, whatever." And then he starts getting on the police officer's ass in front of the guy that he pulled over. And I don't think a lot of people quite understand that state seal on a badge gives you authority to arrest inside that state. You're certified through the state.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
through a city or not through a county.
and I get I get the whole jurisdictional thing. But if the stop was initiated in the city limits and then the guy traveled outside the city limits, that's still fair game, in my opinion.
Well, he wasn't able to initiate a stop until he got into the county, but the traffic infraction occurred in the city.
Okay.
So he was able to catch up to him out in the county, but he wrote him for a traffic infraction for inside the city.
And I tell you what, if you get stopped by HPD, Huntsville Police Department here in Alabama, I can't even tell you what the fucking limit stop and start for Huntsville because, and I don't know that anybody can. Madison County, for one, is fucking huge. Madison County is huge. But Huntsville Police Department now goes all the way to I-65, all the way past the airport, all the way out on I-565, all the way out to Interstate 65. It goes all the way out there, and that is some of that area out there is rural as fuck.
And Limestone County, too.
But yeah, right. Yeah. Huntsville Police actually has some Limestone County in it, as opposed to just Madison County. But you know why that is, right? Because you know it's out there on Greenbrier Parkway. You got the Amazon place, you got Polaris, some of them things out there.
Plants out there.
Yeah. So all that is Huntsville, Texas. Yeah, Huntsville, Texas. But then right smack ass in the middle of it, you got the little city of Madison.
Yep.
That's landlocked.
Madison cannot expand at all.
No,
it is
Madison has no, they have no room to expand. Actually there is a little bit of room to expand. All right, you know the Cliff Farms area out there?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's technically county. That's not Madison City. It's not Huntsville City. That's county. You know what fire department has to respond to Cliff Farms? Monrovia.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Monrovia has to respond out there. Now, they've got apartments out there. Monrovia does not have a ladder truck. But they've got
so in the city of Madison, they got a ladder truck, don't they?
Yeah, they've got 4-story apartment buildings.
Yeah.
in that
Well,
Cliff
see, you
Farms
know,
area.
out there off of on Balch Road, right there behind that, is the city of Huntsville.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Where we had
That-
that house, because you remember we had that car get broken into in the driveway, and Huntsville City came out there and took the report for it.
Right. Well, and that's what's so weird because right there at the intersection, well, hold on, we're talking about shit people have no idea what we're talking about. Hold on, let's see.
That's why I'm looking at a map.
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to pull a map up real quick. All right, this is Google Maps, everybody. This is not my own mapping software. Let me just make that clear. So let's see. Let's look at Balch Road and all right, Balch Road and Capshaw.
Yeah.
All right. So right here, let's zoom in on this. Well, let's zoom way the fuck out for a minute first so you can see, right? So here's where Huntsville is labeled, right? This is like the main part of what people think about when they think about Huntsville. However, it's so weird. The property lines are so weird because Huntsville actually goes like way the fuck up like this way.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah,
I'm
they go
pretty
all the way out
sure.
Meridianville.
I'm pretty sure once you get to Meridianville, I think that's county.
Mhm.
But then you've also got Madison, the city of Madison,
Mhm.
right here. So Huntsville comes all the way here, and then it gets to Madison, and then Huntsville starts again, all out here, and goes all the way down here to I-65 and comes up. Like all this shit here is Huntsville city limits.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think they even go past I-65 a little bit now out there, like even more toward Decatur.
So in Madison, a Huntsville police officer could pull you over and ticket you.
Well, Madison is its own incorporated city.
Parts of Madison, yes.
Yeah. So now, like, technically, the area I live in is considered Madison, but it's not actually Madison City. It's out in the county.
That's just the post office. What post office your mail comes out of.
Right. But right here, if we zoom in on Balch Road,
yeah,
right where Balch Road and Capshaw meet, there's a traffic light here. And if you're coming this way on Capshaw, if you're traveling west and you need to make a left-hand turn, that's fucking hard because there's no turn lane. So it makes traffic back up a little bit. But right here, sorry, HPD, I'm giving away one of your secrets. Right here, HPD likes to put a car right here sometimes. So this is HPD. This is Huntsville city limits. Even though you can see how far that marker is actually away from Huntsville.
And how close it is to Madison. Yeah.
Yeah, but Huntsville city limits basically loop, and Huntsville goes way down this way too, like the city limits. So Huntsville basically wraps around Madison, and Madison can't grow too much. But let's see, where is so Balch Road, and then we got to go.
I think they go all the way. I think it goes all the way out until Athens PD takes over. Down Capshaw, I think.
Yeah,
It
where's
goes way out?
Where's the Cliff Farm? This is Cliff Farm. No, that's not. Here it
No,
is.
you
This
go
is
back
Cliff
to
Farm.
yeah.
This is it. Yeah, Cliff Farms. Okay.
Yeah.
So this Walmart right here, this Walmart Supercenter, it's Madison Walmart. This is HPD. This is Huntsville Police Department. But this Cliff Farm right here is county.
Right.
Because this is where, or I mean, if the county volunteer fire department has to respond out here, then it's got to be county sheriff's department.
But everything down 72, you know, the Home Depot and that Lowe's and stuff down 72 right there, that's all HPD. And I thought it was Madison, but it's not. It's HPD's.
Because it's north of this, and Madison must have what's south of it then. But yeah, it's confusing as fuck. up through there as to who is who. So if you get stopped by Huntsville Police Department or Madison Police Department or the Madison County Sheriff's Department, don't argue with them on the side of the road about whether you're in their jurisdiction or not, because nobody fucking knows where the stop and start is.
Just take that shit and find out where you gotta go to court.
Yeah, just take your fucking ticket, argue it later, because I mean, you could like no shit cross the street and be in a different jurisdiction in some places here.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
it's insane.
That ain't an argument worth having.
And I'm sure you got state police running around there too, right?
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. So Huntsville Police Department would come out and they'll work a wreck in Huntsville city limits. They'll actually do the accident report and all that stuff. If an accident happens in the county, the sheriff's department ain't gonna do shit but come out there, assess if there's any injuries and provide traffic control. The state trooper has to come out and do the accident report and take over the scene. I'm not 100% sure about Madison. I've seen Madison at traffic accidents, but then I've also seen the state. So I'm not, but it's been on state highways, on the traffic accidents I've seen. So I'm not sure if Madison PD works accident reports or if they turn that over to the state. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But like
I'm sure they write the ones in the city, but I don't anything on the highway. I don't know.
So for those of you that wonder why I have problems getting to areas when I was live streaming a little more often, is because look at how big this area is. When you hear
they go all the way to the bridge too, south. They go all the way to the Tennessee River.
Yeah, all the way down here to Ditto.
Yep.
Well, and I know they go to Hobbs Island, right?
Yeah, they go out that way.
Yes, I mean it goes way south. I mean Huntsville is huge. It takes to get from this point that I marked here to get more like in the center of Huntsville. That's depending on traffic. That's at least a 20-minute drive.
Oh yeah, and that's not including if you got to go to Hampton Cove and stuff because Huntsville covers that too. And
so it's
all the way out there.
It's really hard to cover the Huntsville metro area. That's why a lot of times when I'm in a better mood for streaming, that's why I'm usually over here, because look at Athens, man. It's such a smaller town. I mean, look how tiny it is. It's
but
just,
it's still
almost
close enough for Huntsville to have some shit going on.
Yeah, it still has some shit going on. But Athens PD actually comes on down. They come down this way a little bit.
Yeah, down.
I think they stop right about Huntsville Browns Ferry Road.
Yeah,
somewhere down in here is where their stuff ends. But here's where that Buc-ee's is right there. That's that Buc-ee's I went to. But anyhow, we're kind of getting off topic there. But I thought if I was going to talk about these areas and jurisdiction, you kind of had to see how fucked up some of it can be around here. It's kind of hard to know where you're at. Whose backyard are you in when you're over here? That's a little difficult. Did y'all have anything y'all wanted to share before we close out? Any last minute stuff? I've got a few videos that we're going to look at next week. I've already got kind of hemmed up. Steve sent me a couple of them. I've got a couple of them that I've done. We're going to talk. I want to dig in a little deeper on the Alabama open records law next week and how fucked up it is. And we might look at some of these court cases on the disorderly conduct, bird flipping and obscene language stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to see if I can find any videos, but that's kind of hard. And you know why? Because the cops in Alabama don't let you get the fucking body cam footage. One of the things we're actually going to look at next week is I'm going to actually show you what the form looks like for the Huntsville Police Department body cam request form. Body cam and dash cam footage request form.
How thick is that?
It's not thick, but you can't do a goddamn thing with it if you get it. You can pay for it, but you can't do nothing with it. It's basically what it comes down to. We'll look at that form when we talk about some of that next week. And here's the reason why, right? In order for people to be held accountable, you have to have proof. I don't think an officer should be able to be fired just because somebody says they did something.
Right.
Just like somebody shouldn't be able to go to prison if somebody says they did something. You got to have some proof, right?
Yeah.
And
I think so.
Well, when you run into an issue with law enforcement in Alabama, if they don't want to give you their body cam footage, they don't have to. And that's just wrong. It's just wrong, wrong.
And if, to my understanding too, the officers don't get a copy either. Just
well,
the
no,
department
it's
retains
like a
copies.
super fucking
That's it.
secretive NSA kind of thing in Alabama. I don't get it. And I'm when we read the open records law and you see how vague it is, body cam footage should be included in open records. So I don't know. Anyway, any parting thoughts, gentlemen?
The only thing I'm thinking of is we've gone from innocent until proven guilty until guilty until proven innocent.
Until proven innocent, yeah.
And that's definitely not the way this country needs to be. I mean, it never was, nor should it ever be.
Yeah.
Well, I think the judicial system's so broken in this country.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of
when they start
there's a
talking
lot
about
of corruption in this
reform,
country within the government, and I agree with you. This is probably one of the most corrupt governments that I know of, other than Ukraine.
Well, corrupt under the guise of just, and I think that's the problem for me. You know, they pretend like we're just such a just country, and then for certain people, they get away with everything, and others don't. So
well, and here's what a lot of people forget, right? Is this country was founded because of a tyrannical government. They didn't like the way England was treating them, so that's how we decided to fight the Revolutionary War. And look back here behind me.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, yeah.
You see at the top of it, it says, We the people. The people formed this union. And that's what a lot of people forget, is that we are supposed to be able to have a say in our government and hold our government accountable, and to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures and, you know, several things like that. And we're slowly letting some of these things erode away.
There's a reason
it's
for
getting
that.
chipped away at.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
The Act of 1871. For those of you who don't know what the Act of 1871 is, you might want to check that out. That was when the United States was sold back to England. And Washington, D.C. doesn't belong to the United States. Look it up.
It's a separate thing. Yeah, we'll have to look that up, because that almost sounds like a conspiracy theory. So I'm gonna have to dig into that.
It's an actual thing. The United States from 1871 on was considered the United States corporation.
So that's when it ran like a business then.
Ran like a business, and that's why you're having problems like we're having now with them trying to take the Constitution off of us, certain rights, certain liberties, things along that nature. That needs to go away. We need to go back to pre-1871. And that's just how it is. I mean, because ever since then, look what we got.
Yeah, it's getting bad. I mean, one little bit of a right here and there, even at the local level, it's slowly starting to chew away at our civil rights here in America. And we got to get some of that back. We got to get on common ground. We've got to have law enforcement, but they need to be the right people in that job.
Yeah. Yes.
I was not the right person for that job.
Come on, I can't believe that.
And I fully admit it.
You may say that you were a lousy cop, but you played a good one on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. But it's like, I mean, some people don't search their soul like that, and are not honest with themselves like that. I would have been one of the cops that infringed on somebody's rights because I got pissed off and decided to punch him in the face or something. And that's not what we need in a police
I can't
officer.
see you doing that though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
I can't see it happening.
I wasn't cut out for it. And so, but I know that there's great cops out there, but we need to get rid of the bad apples. I mean, the bad apples need to go and the good ones need to shine. And that's what I'm trying to do with my channel when I'm out there, is show off the good cops. And I've told several of them, if a cop looks bad on my camera, they did it to themselves, because I'm not going out there trying to make people look bad. It just is what it is. So anyhow, that's going to do it for me. Adam, any parting words before we head out?
No, I don't really have anything.
All right. Well, next week we'll dig into some stuff. Adam and Steve, y'all feel free to give me some ideas. Those of you that are in my Discord, if you got some ideas on some shit that you want us to look at and talk about, send it on in, and we'll certainly look at it and see what we can do. I've also got a link in the description to a Google form that you should be able to fill out. I think it's working. If not, somebody please let me know. But kick us some ideas. We'll talk about it. If you've seen something that pissed you off, or you've seen something that makes you feel good and you want us to talk about it, let us know. No porn, no porn, and no OnlyFans sites. Sorry, but anyhow, that's gonna do it for me, y'all. Y'all have a great one, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Have a good week.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here on screen. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day it'll be me. If I want it, then I'll get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Can rely on me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe.